Hello, everyone, and welcome to my first webinar with Duda. So, thank you, Duda, for having me. First off, we're going to be talking about affiliate marketing, and the first guest is this guy. I can never get that part right. This guy here, Ben Hadler from Keyword Chef. Ben, thank you very much for joining us today. Um, so, obviously the audience might or might not know a bit about yourself, but do you want to give the audience a brief introduction to what Ben does, where you're from, what you do, and all that kind of stuff?
Sure. Um, so I'm from the US, about an hour north of Boston. I have a background in programming. So I went to school for programming. I got a job for about 10 years, did programming. During that time, I wanted to make money online, but I didn't really know how to do it. So I was looking on Reddit for ideas, and I came across a niche website that was making $500 a month talking about vacuum cleaners. So I was like, this website sucks and it's making $500 a month. Like I could do that. I didn't know anything about anything. I just saw that the website didn't look very good and it was making money. So I thought, I could do that. So I tried a couple things, and then I built my first review website that did well. It took me about 6 months to make my first dollar. And then the December, I was making like upwards of $6,000 during like the holiday season, just from Amazon. I didn't know anything about ads or other networks at the time. I was just following this website I saw. And then I started expanding into other affiliates. I put ads on my website. And I eventually sold that website. And then I built a Facebook group to help teach people how to build these niche websites. And I started building more like info-based websites and then monetizing with display ads. And then I got really good at keyword research. And then with my programming background, I built Keyword Chef to automate my keyword research process. So that's a long, short story. So
And
yeah.
how long did that whole period take from buying your first website to building Keyword Chef? How long has that journey actually been?
My first website started, I think it was 2007. So I've been in the maybe 5 years. I've been doing stuff with niche sites and keywords.
Yeah. No, interesting, and it's weird how we all somehow angle our way into this industry and and eventually make money and go off and do whatever else you do. Now, guys, if you are new here, we are going to be doing a presentation where Ben is going to be telling us how he built an online community, and a bit about how you could potentially make money from building an online community, if you like. We will, after that, be doing question and answers. So make sure you put your questions over in the live chat. Please be patient. We will come back and answer as many of the questions as time allows. Also, do check out Keyword Chef. But whilst we're just waiting for people to come in, Ben, Keyword Chef, you mentioned that automating your keyword research and stuff like that. So, what are the kind of unique selling points of Keyword Chef as opposed to some of the maybe the other tools that are out there for keyword research?
Yeah, good question. So there's a lot of tools, and some of them are good. So basically, like a lot of tools, they give you the keyword and the search volume, right? And maybe a keyword difficulty metric.
Mm-hmm.
But that keyword difficulty, a lot of times, is like based on backlink data or CPC or something. It doesn't really analyze the top 10 results in the SERP, which is the real competition you're competing with for that
Yeah.
keyword. So what Keyword Chef does is it actually analyzes that SERP, and then it finds domains that you can easily outrank from that
Mm-hmm.
actual SERP. So these are typically things like forums, sometimes Pinterest, depending on the keyword. So it basically analyzes the SERPs for all the keywords at once. So
yeah,
it's really powerful. Instead of going to the SERP every time and looking at the results, which could take a very long time if you have a lot of keywords,
yeah.
Keyword Chef can do that all analysis for you. So that's the selling point of Keyword Chef.
Cool. Glad that there's clever guys out there making this stuff, which makes our jobs easier. So do check it out, guys. But we are going to go on and do Ben's presentation. Habib is here. Sharuk is here. Victor is here. But anyone else, let us know where you're from and any questions you've got relating to affiliate marketing or relating to Ben's story. So, Ben, you are free to start sharing your screen and do your thing, man. And
Great.
if there's any questions, I'll try not to interrupt you. But, guys, if there's something that Ben says that you maybe just forgot something about, sorry, you didn't understand, I'll interrupt him and we'll try and clarify what he's talking about if there is anything like that. But Ben, the floor is yours, mate.
Thank you. I'll also be pausing at certain points so I can take questions that are relevant. And Craig, if you have questions as well from you or the audience, just let me know. So hopefully everyone can see my screen. So I want to show you guys how you can build an audience and sell your own products. A little bit about me. I already discussed my story. Started in 2007. I bought and sold a few sites. I built various Facebook groups. And of course, I launched Keyword Chef. So in this presentation, I want to help you do two things. I want you to be inspired to build your own audience. And I want to make that journey easier for you. You guys ready? Let me know in the comments. Cool. So what exactly is an audience? Generally, it's a group of people who know your name and face, and they subscribe or follow you in some way. So this could be a mailing list. It could be your own YouTube channel, Facebook group, Twitter, etc. These are all platforms in which your followers can follow you. Some popular examples, you've probably seen these faces around. Neil Patel, Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone. If you notice, these guys are all making content online. So that's a very important part. So why do I need an audience? Like a lot of us are building niche websites. Our niche websites alone, good. Yes, niche sites can still work. There's a lot of successful people building niche websites, of course. But they do come with some risk. So Google algorithm updates can destroy your site overnight. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of recent updates with Google lately. That's hammered a lot of people. And a lot more people nowadays are looking for video content. I saw a stat from SEMrush that said 83% articles with video get 83% more traffic. And now a lot of big players with big budgets, they're outsourcing, they're using expired domains, and they're using AI content. So a lot is changing now in the blogging and niche website world. So building your own audience, it's one way to ignore the competition, and because you're not focused on SEO, you're just focused on other means of getting traffic. So 5 reasons you should start building your own audience today. Reason number 1, like I said, avoid Google updates. This is from someone's site. You can see the death. They went off a cliff there, and they've never recovered. This was back in November 2000. Reason number 2 is there's less competition. You don't always need to fight in the SERPs for rankings. When you have your own audience, you can deliver content to them directly. Reason 3, it's easier to sell your own products or be an affiliate. When you already have an audience that likes and trusts you, sometimes it's just a matter of putting an offer in front of them and people are going to buy. And you can sell it to that same audience over and over again. So you don't need to keep rebuilding that audience. Reason number 4, which is huge, it's much easier to connect with influencers when you already have your own audience. So these other influencers, they can help with backlinks, cross promotion, and they can even be an affiliate for your own product. So just like Craig and I are on this webinar, we're kind of doing a cross promotion. So there's a lot of benefits to working with other influencers. And reason 5 is more traffic sources. So let's say you have a Facebook group. In the group, you can promote your YouTube channel and your blog. Or if you just have a YouTube channel, you create a Facebook group, you can promote it on your Facebook channel. So these traffic sources feed into each other and you get a lot more traffic. So overall, audiences give you more long-term traffic and income. Any questions so far? I'll ask that every now and then.
Nothing so far.
Okay, great. So how do we get started? So a lot of this is based on my personal experience that I'll be sharing today. There's going to be more than one way to do something. So the overall strategy, first you want to pick a niche, choose a platform, optimize your profile, and then start creating content. So the goal here is when you join a platform like Facebook or YouTube or Reddit, you want to funnel users on that platform to your own list. So it's basically, you're trying to capture traffic from these platforms. So step 1, pick a niche that you know well and are passionate about. If you're building an online audience, you don't want to pick some random niche. You actually want to be interested in it. I tried to start 2 software companies before Keyword Chef, and they both failed because I was in niches I didn't know anything about. So I would try to go into like car dealerships, and it was very hard to connect with those people when I didn't know anything about the industry. So finding your niche, a lot of us are marketers, but your niche doesn't necessarily need to be marketing related. As long as you can help someone with a topic, that can be your niche. So I want you guys to think about like what kinds of things can you help teach someone else. So just a few niche ideas. It could be fitness, art, cooking, finances, ham radio, fishing, tiny houses, woodworking, programming, or travel. So after you pick your niche, you want to choose a platform. So like I said, the easiest and best way to get traffic is to join existing platforms and take traffic from there. These platforms already have millions of visits, so why not tap into that, right? Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, Twitter. These are all platforms in which you can build a community on. I personally love Facebook. That's how I built my own audience. Every niche is on Facebook. It's very personal. People see you, they know you. It's easy to interact with people. It's easy to optimize your profile. And all you need to do is write content. It's not like YouTube where if you don't like video, you're forced to do it. Like you don't have to do video on Facebook if you don't want to. And it's really easy to create your own group and get started. So after you pick a platform, you want to optimize your profile. You want to have like a professional photo of yourself, preferably no selfies. So ask your photographer friend for a photo shoot. Change your cover photo. And this will advertise your funnel, basically your landing page. Change your bio to explain what you do. So basically the idea is when people land on your profile, they'll get directed to your funnel. Next step, once your profile is optimized, is join the discussion. I tell people if they want to start an online business, just like start talking to people and helping people online, right? So it's create discussions, answer people's questions, and you want to be really helpful as possible. Share real life results. This will help build credibility. People talk about EAT, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust for SEO, but a lot of the same principles also apply to like social media as well. So how should I create content? An easy rule from Gary Vaynerchuk is document, don't create. So basically, share what you're learning, share what you're working on. So if you're always working on something or always learning, you'll always have something to share. The more helpful and detailed, the better. So a lot of people online are lazy when they're answering questions and things like that. So if you give like a really detailed answer, you're going to stand out from the crowd. People will see that and be like, "Wow, who was this guy?" And they'll check out your profile and join your list. So different types of content you can make. Of course, answering questions, case studies, sharing experiments, personal opinions, creating helpful guides, video tutorials, and industry news. Industry news is actually a quick, easy way to spark discussions. Like if there's a Google update, you can post that to your group and get a lot of people interacting with that topic. So it doesn't matter how much you know, but how much you can help people. So there's a lot of experts out there, but they're not sharing their knowledge and they're not building audiences. But you don't have to be a super expert if you just know enough to help other people get started, and you can help those people. That's enough to build an audience. Any questions so far? All right, I'll keep going. So just be yourself. There's no need to act like a guru. Just be helpful, consistent, and compassionate. So more tips for engagement. In the beginning, try to answer everyone's questions. Don't make people feel stupid. Let people know they are cared and heard. And people notice how you treat others. So just be nice to people, help people, and your reputation is going to go really far doing those things. So compassion isn't a marketing tactic. It's a value that helps with marketing. So it's not just being nice. It's not pretending to be nice. So some people say, "Oh, doesn't this take a long time? Constantly creating content all the time." It does take time, but the audience is the hard part that you're working on, and it's the most important. So once you have an audience, the hard part is over because then you can just sell them products over and over again. So just be consistent, show up every day, and it will pay off. So you have an audience. Like, what's next? It's time to monetize. So there's two routes you can take. You can build a personal brand, which means creating your own products and services. You can become the product expert, which is basically becoming an affiliate for someone else, or you can do both. I think it's good to do both because your audience is going to buy lots of products from lots of different people, even competing products. Sometimes they'll buy. So if you think about keyword research, a lot of people use multiple tools. So like I said, people buy different products all the time. So some product ideas you can create. You can create courses. You can do group coaching, software tools, paid newsletters, paid directories. You can do consulting, ebooks, templates, even graphics, or even physical products. Did we have a question pop up?
No, I was just waving to Duck there from Malta.
So when you're building an audience, don't worry about the competition. Market saturation is a myth. There's new people entering the market every single day, and it's impossible to reach everybody. So there's plenty of customers for everyone to have. So finding the right product idea. Products can be really simple and profitable at the same time. In my personal opinion, the more passive a product is, the better, because that frees your time to work on other products that can bring in additional revenue. Some ideas are going to work better than others. So when I first built my audience, I actually tried selling courses, and I didn't like making courses, so I switched to software. But I kept the same exact audience. So that's the power of the audience, is you can like pivot easily. But before you go off and build your product should be validated. You want to make sure there's demand for your product. You're basically answering the question, are people going to be willing to pay for this? So how to validate your product idea? You want to try to deliver the end result without actually making the product first. So a couple famous examples, Airbnb, they actually went door to door in the beginning taking pictures. So they didn't have the full product first, but they were able to like do these little shortcuts to get going. Same thing with Zappos. They sell shoes. They actually bought and resold shoes from like brick and mortar stores. So they didn't have all this inventory in the beginning. They basically created a shortcut to sell other people's shoes. So this is how I validated Keyword Chef. I made a post in one of my groups offering to do keyword research for people, even before the software was available. Customers just paid me via PayPal, and I got 20 customers at $50. So I was able to raise $1,000 for Keyword Chef even before the product was ready. So you don't need like any fancy payment plans or anything. People can just send you money through your PayPal. So one thing to know is if someone buys once, it means you understand their problem. But if someone buys twice, it means you're actually able to solve that problem. Does that make sense? So if people come back again, it means they actually like what they bought the first time. So what can you do? So if you want to create a course, maybe you can do a webinar first and get feedback that way. Or if you want to sell an ebook, maybe make a teaser post in your group. Or if you want to make a WordPress plugin, maybe do the work manually on someone's site and see how they like it. So finding your first customers, keep it simple. I'm a big fan of simplicity. You don't need any funnels or landing pages. You can just ask your audience or send out an email to get your first customers. So in the beginning, you want to start with an MVP. This is your minimal viable product. And this is basically the most simple version of your product that works. And you want to get feedback as early as possible, because you don't want to spend 6 months and thousands of dollars building something, and then later on you find out, oh, people don't like it, or I screwed that one up, right? So simple products are better than bigger, complicated projects. Simple products are easier to build, easier to maintain, and easier to market. So a mousetrap, everyone knows what a mousetrap is and how it works, right? It's very easy to explain that to someone. So there's always a fear of what if when you're building a MVP of your product. And that is like, what if the customer asks for something and I don't have it yet? And some people, they keep adding things just in case someone will ask for it. But there's 3 answers to this. One, you can always add that feature later. Customers are always going to be asking for more features, and you don't have to add everything, and you shouldn't add everything. So, so far, so good? Great.
Yeah.
So your product should solve one problem and solve it really well. Don't make your product try to do everything. Just do one little thing it does really well. So finding your first beta users, doing a beta in public, I think can be overwhelming because you might get too much feedback, or some people might see the beta and not like it and never come back again. So what I suggest is to start with a small group of people that you trust, maybe 10 people, and then you can build a private Facebook group to share updates and get feedback that way. So that's what I did with Keyword Chef. Once you feel the product is ready, it's time to launch your product. Launches don't need to be these huge events where you send out all these emails and do all this collaboration with people. Sometimes a softer launch is better. You also keep in mind that you can always launch more than once. So even if your first launch is a total screw up, you can still launch again. So every update, you can share that with your audience again. So this is how I launched Keyword Chef. I made a pre-recorded Loom video of the software. It was just a demo, and I shared it in my Facebook group. I didn't even send any emails or anything like that. It's very simple, straightforward. So I know a lot of us are affiliates, so we want to know, how can I use affiliates to help promote my product? So leveraging affiliates can be a huge gold mine. A lot of the affiliates you're going to be working with will come from your existing audience. So that's another benefit of building an audience. I also believe that having a great product that people actually want to promote is going to help you a ton. So different ways affiliates can help promote you. People can do blog posts about your product. They can do reviews on your YouTube channel. They can recommend your product in their course. And they can just talk about it on social media. So getting started with your affiliate program, all this is based on my personal experience and generally what other people are doing. I think it's better to set up your program early. The reason is, if a big influencer comes to you and says, "Hey, Ben, I really like your product. Do you have an affiliate program?" And if you don't have one yet, you might miss that opportunity. So I think it's better to have your affiliate program a little bit earlier than later. Pay your affiliates generously and always on time. Your affiliates work hard to promote you, and they put a lot of time and effort into what they do. So it's good to make sure they're taken care of. Lifetime recurring commissions are ideal. That's the best thing that affiliates want to see. And for digital products, generally 20 to 50% affiliate payouts are normal. Physical products can't have these high margins because they have the cost of the actual good to create. That's why digital products are always going to be higher commission generally than physical products. So this is what I do for my affiliates. I don't want people taking advantage of my affiliate programs. So I only work with other influencers. I actually don't advertise my program. A lot of people come to me and ask me, "Hey, I like your product. Do you have an affiliate program?" I'm using First Promoter for affiliate tracking. This is just one software you can use to track and pay your affiliates. And to make things simple, I like to pay my affiliates at the first of every month for the previous month. It's just easier for me to remember and schedule. If you have a lot of refunds, you might want to wait 30 days to have those refunds clear, so you can get a more accurate affiliate payout for your affiliates. I don't have many. I rarely get refunds, so this is why I do my way. So far, so good. Good. So what can you expect from your affiliates? So the 80-20 rule, So a small handful of affiliates are expected to bring in the most revenue. So half of your affiliates might not bring in anything. Some people will sign up for your affiliate program and they won't even promote it. So another thing to keep in mind is affiliate tracking isn't perfect. Some people use different browsers, different devices, blocking plugins. So if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, Ben, I signed up this person, but I didn't get a commission for it," I always err on the side of my affiliate. I will pay them if they say they missed a payment. Like I said, I want to make my affiliates happy. So just some quick stats from Keyword Chef. So this is the power of affiliates. They help generate nearly $40,000 of income with a couple of thousand referrals. So key takeaways from this webinar. Building an audience isn't complicated. Just compassion, dedication, and being helpful will get you far. And there's only two things you need to do to build a business. Talk to customers and solve problems. So I like to say 90% of marketing is just helping people. So that's it. Thank you, guys. If you have questions, let me or Craig know. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ben. Guys, if you've got any questions relating to Keyword Chef, affiliate marketing, any problems, issues, or whatever you want to try and throw at us and ask us, we're also here to try and help you. So if you've got anything you might want to ask that Ben's maybe covered, then we can ask him and you know, go back over it, whatever you want. So put your questions in the live chat, please. We do have a whole bunch of people here: Justin Weeks, Patrick, Hans, Gustavo, Sarun, Dirk, Street Beef Scrapyard, Sharuk. Craig, have you got a new sponsor? Any comments? So yes, my YouTube channel has a new sponsor, Niche Website Builders. So if you do want to build out websites, but you can't be bothered, you're lazy, whatever, you can go and get those guys to do the whole lot for you. So that is just a little bit about that, but we're not here to promote Niche Website Builders as such, here to promote Ben, affiliate marketing, Duda, and everything else. So any questions relating to that, please put them in the chat. Dirk Shembry has the first question. So Ben, you mentioned first promoter to do or to keep track of your affiliate stuff like that. But I'm assuming Dirk's asking not from a first promoter point of view, but as an affiliate, is there any any tools? So you've mentioned you built out Amazon websites, you built out probably God knows what else. How do you keep track of all of your affiliate links? Is there any kind of tool out there that does that very well?
I'm pretty bad at keeping track. I just normally put my affiliate link on the page, and there's a few tools out there that will find broken links for your affiliate. Well, so I use Amazon as one of my affiliates. There's tools out there that will actually find all the affiliate links on your site and tell you which links are broken or if they're pointing to products that are no longer available. So in those cases, you can just swap out the links. So it's not a bad idea to use one of these tools, maybe on a monthly basis, to do a scan of your Amazon links and just swap out the products to make sure they're available. I think Share a Sale might have some type of tracking software for broken links. I can't remember. But yeah, I probably miss out on little commissions with some links there and there being broken. That's just me. I like to keep things simple. So what about you, Craig?
I'm probably bordering on the lazy side when it comes to things like that. I think if we're all being honest, we all are lazy bastards. Are we tracking this stuff to the best of our abilities? Probably not. I don't have a huge inventory of websites. I would log into to Amazon Associates to see what I was making on a daily basis or whatever. And a couple of other websites they've got their own internal dashboards that show me what I make and all that kind of stuff. So I don't have a specific tool that checks for broken links. Have I had Amazon websites that have been full of broken links? 100%. So, I could do a lot better on that front as well. And I think we all can. Products go out of stock, disappear, whatever. There's a number of different reasons why these links may break. So you do have to keep on top of it, or you're missing that cookie drop and commission. So do check out a couple of those bits and bobs mentioned there, Dirk. But Hans is asking, will you accept anyone as your affiliate, or do you filter people out when it comes to Keyword Chef, Ben? Do you just accept anyone who's willing to drive traffic, or are you like, if you've no audience, you can basically pee off? How does it work?
Yeah, I do filter people. Just anyone with a measurable audience, I'll usually accept. So if you had a YouTube channel or a blog getting traffic, or a Facebook group or mailing list that has some type of followers to it, I'll usually accept people if they have their own audience.
Good. I think that's a great way to do it. If someone's got an audience that you can tap into, then why would you ignore them? So,
yeah,
good way to do it. Sharuk Khan is asking more about Duda. And as Duda have said, they're unsure of what you're trying to ask, but obviously it's a website builder and CMS, and you can build a little membership platform on there and various other bits and bobs. But if you come with a specific question, Sharuk, I'm sure we can try and get you the right answer. When it comes to Duda, from the guys in the background. But Ben, a couple of things I want to ask you while people are potentially going to ask other questions.
Yeah.
You spoke about the Facebook was your platform of choice for you personally, and you built the Facebook group up. And obviously, I've had a quick peek at your Facebook group, and of course, it's of a decent size. Someone else looking at that going, geez, I want to build a Facebook group. Was there any tricks in there? Were you using any kind of paid ads to get people in? Is there any kind of quick wins where we can, get a whole bunch of people in there? Because I'm going to imagine if you're doing it organically and you've got 5 people in your group and there's one question a week, it's going to be slow growth. So is there any kind of quick ways to kind of get instant growth?
I wouldn't say instant growth. I mean, I've had that Facebook group for years. My main group, it has almost 10,000 members in it. But I grew that. It's been years to grow that. So things you can do. Sometimes if I'm helping people in other groups, I don't do this anymore. But sometimes if I'm answering a question and it's a big discussion, I might slide in my link into the comment section sometimes. And just like what I did in the beginning is I joined multiple groups about SEO and niche websites, and I just started helping people, became friends with people. And at one point when I created my group, I posted on my profile saying, hey, I have this new group. Let me know if you want to join. And that's how I got the first 50 members on the first day or first couple of days of making my group. And I just filled it with tons of helpful guides. Like I would make a blog post. I would make a Facebook post that would be like a blog post. It would be like 500 words, like several hundred words. So the idea is when someone goes to my group, you'll be like, wow, look at all this good information. And sometimes they share it with a group. And Facebook will actually recommend your group to similar audiences, which is great too, because it's like Facebook advertising you for free, right?
Yeah. That's
If you have a newsletter or a website, you can put your Facebook group in the footer. So just like I said, cross promotion. If you have a newsletter, you can advertise your Facebook group. If you have a Facebook group, you can advertise that newsletter. So it's just being diligent. It takes a long time and work, but once you have the audience, it definitely pays off.
Yeah, no, definitely. Another thing you mentioned earlier, you've said in the past, maybe potential, you've entered niches that you know next to nothing about.
Yeah.
I think we've probably all done that at some point. I certainly have as well. Is that necessarily a bad thing? Do you really need to know your niche to make money in it? What's your take on that? Because obviously everyone's got a different opinion on it, but did that hold you back in any way, or do you feel you should go after something you have knowledge about?
So for niche websites, I think it's okay to go into a niche you don't know anything about in the beginning, and just research as you go based on the keyword and things like that. But for building your own audience, like where people actually know and follow you, as opposed to a niche website, I think you do need to understand your niche in that sense. One of my failed software companies, I was making a website widget for car dealerships. And it was just very hard to connect with people. It was very hard to create content because I didn't know anything. It's like
It's probably like me. I know next to nothing about cars, so I get it. Yeah, it could be difficult if you're trying to do things like that, or like you say, building using videos and whatnot. You don't want to be a non-SEO guy on here chatting crap about SEO. I think
Yeah.
it would be very clear very quickly, terminology wise. So, no, I get your point. Because as I say, people do ask that question, and I would always say, try a niche that you've got at least some form of interest in, just purely from a passion level. If I was going to write about plants, which I know next to nothing about and don't really care about, in all honesty, it's going to frizzle out, in terms of the kind of my enthusiasm for it. So, but certainly if I was going to be on videos and build a proper audience for it, I would avoid plants like the plague. So I just wanted to get your take on that. Now, you said as well in your presentation about potentially joining platforms that already have millions of traffic, your YouTubes, your Facebooks, and so on and so forth. Now, I know that you said Facebook was your preferred choice, but earlier on in your slides, you mentioned Reddit somewhere. And when I'm talking to people in the SEO industry, Reddit comes up a lot, and it's a platform I've never really engaged in. Pinterest is another one where I speak to people and they're like, actually, a consultancy call with a guy last week, and we were looking at his website, and I'm like, dude, he thought his website was going backwards. It was actually close to 1 million hits a month. And I'm like, dude, this website's not going backwards. Like, this is a really good website. I'm like, how have you done all this? Now, I'm going to be honest, the guy didn't really try a leg, kind of threw enough mud at the wall and it stuck. But a lot of his traffic was actually coming from Pinterest. So it wasn't necessarily his SEO that got him up there. There was a lot of that coming from Pinterest, which then gave him click-through rate, engagement, which, kind of ranked him very well for a lot of keywords. So just out of curiosity, you mentioned joining other platforms. What are the best ones in terms of, I know Facebook was good for you group-wise, but in terms of driving traffic, is there Reddit's, Pinterest? What are we missing out
on? So, of course, you want to make sure your niche is like actually on that platform. So like Twitter, for example, it might not have a good community for every single audience on Twitter. Um, but yeah, like Reddit is interesting because you can actually create your own subreddit, and then you can post affiliate links on there without getting banned because you own the subreddit.
Yeah.
So for my review website, I actually just I created my own subreddit. And I just started like posting articles from my website on there. It grew a little bit, and I got a little bit of commissions that way. But it's just if you're the first, the first mover principle, if there's no community on a certain platform and you're the first one to create that community, like that's an easy way to get traffic sometimes.
Yeah.
That community.
Yeah, no, like you say, like I think Instagram, for example, is probably the worst platform for me from an SEO perspective, because how much SEO knowledge and tips can you give away using images? Now I know you can do carousels and stuff, but for me, Instagram works a lot better for fashion people,
Sure.
hairdressers, makeup and all this stuff. So yeah, I think is platform dependent. But I was just curious if you had any hot tips on, like, dude, like Pinterest is still the best thing, because Pinterest one I've never get into, and I'm always just like, is it dying out? But nah, people seem to still get a lot from it.
Yeah, a lot of bloggers, they do. So there's interesting. There's people that call like the websites we do like niche websites, and other people just call it blogging.
Yeah.
If you're more in the blogging camp, a lot of those bloggers do utilize Pinterest a lot. So with some of the complaints I've heard about Pinterest is they do have algorithm changes, just like Google does. So you might be doing really well on Pinterest, and they might change the algorithm, and then you might not be doing any well anymore on Pinterest. Another risk of Pinterest is everything is tied to your account. It's not like Google where they just, you don't need a Google account to be on Google. But with Pinterest, you need a Pinterest account to be on Pinterest. So if your account gets like suspended or banned, that could be a big risk as well. So there's pros and cons. I think Pinterest can work well for certain niches like fashion or DIY and things like that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But aside from Pinterest and building an audience and all that kind of stuff, obviously going back to when you were doing Amazon affiliate, which I think a lot of the audience here are probably dabbling in Amazon and stuff like that. Just curious what your content strategy looked like when you're building your Amazon affiliate websites. How many posts are you doing a month? Because obviously you talked about growing a website and building it up to X amount of money per month and then flipping it on, which is something I enjoy doing. But a lot of people always ask, like, how many articles were you putting on there? How often were you putting them on there?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So what's your content strategy like when it comes to affiliate marketing?
So I don't build review websites anymore, but I can tell you what I did to build that. So I actually got lucky in my niche. There was like little competition. The websites that were talking about my niche were like really old and outdated. So I kind of got lucky picking a good niche. It was like in the arts and crafts niche. And I was talking about these certain types of products, and I didn't know anything about keyword research in the beginning. So I literally reviewed every single product on my website. Like it wasn't hundreds, but it was like maybe 30 or so or whatever. So I reviewed every product, and then I compared them to each other. So like X versus Y.
Yeah.
And the X versus Y was much easier to create after you already got the single review articles.
Yeah.
Because you already have that information. So that was like a lot of easy content just to do the comparisons because you already knew the information. And then I started expanding into like more informational, like how do you actually use the product, or things like that. When I did my product reviews, I would literally read every single Amazon review for that product. I would take notes. I would read user manuals, which are like full of information that some people miss.
Yeah.
Watch YouTube videos and just like try to figure out every single thing I can about that product, and just like write a really helpful like review of it. So that's what I did in the beginning.
That's a lot of work. That is a lot of work. But listen, I I had a guy who was asking me about getting into affiliate marketing, and he genuinely thought that when you're doing product reviews or whatever it might be, that you had to buy these products before you could review them, like cookers or whatever it might be, TVs. I'm like, no, dude, like no one is fucking. Sorry, Studa. No one's buying these things. Like they're just making it up as they go along. But interesting that you know potentially actually went out your way to actually review the product specifically, which is an interesting take on it, and I think probably makes for better content to some degree. You know, if you've actually seen the product.
I didn't actually own the product, but I just read everything I could about it.
Oh, you just read everything on it? I thought you meant you went and ordered. Like,
oh no,
nah.
But I believe you can create good reviews without actually testing the product yourself if you read enough information. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you get opinions from 1,000 different people about a product, and you read all the opinions, you can get a pretty good idea of whether that product is good or not.
Yeah. So when you were doing that product review website, did you ever use other monetization methods like AdSense or Ezoic or anything like that?
Yeah. So in the beginning, I thought ads were spammy, so I didn't have them on my website right away. So I missed out on a lot of money by not having ads on my website sooner. So I applied to Mediavine, and I got rejected. Even though one of my competitors had like the same exact website and they got approved somehow. So I went to Ezoic instead. And a lot of the same ad networks, they all use like what's called Google Ad Exchange, which is a platform where different advertisers can bid on prices and stuff like that. So a lot of these platforms are using like the same technology behind the scenes. So I got into Ezoic. They don't have any traffic requirements anymore. So if you have like 5,000 visits or even 1,000 visits, you can still monetize your website. AdSense is an option too. But Ezoic uses like machine learning to put ads in the right places and stuff like that to like optimize your revenue. So you can get a lot higher revenue with Ezoic and these other ad platforms aside from AdSense.
I was always a bit like yourself. Never liked ads on a website. I just thought they made them look real bad. I always steered clear of them, to be honest. It's even to this day, I've never ran AdSense, Zoic, or anything on any of the affiliate websites. But I know people who've literally doubled their revenue by simply just adding that onto their website. So don't take my advice on that, guys. I think trying to use multiple methods of monetization is what you're essentially trying to achieve with the website. But we hear a lot of rumors, Ben, on potentially adding AdSense, Zoic, or whatever it might be. and it slows your website down. Did you see that there was any kind of significant speed issues with the website at all, or anything like that when you were adding these ads?
Yeah. So, I mean, any ads that you add to your website are going to slow your website down a little bit, no matter the platform. But a lot of these platforms, they put in a lot of effort to prevent that slowdown.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my websites has ads on it, and I'm passing core web vitals.
Yeah.
So if it's good enough for Google, it's it's good enough for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. As long as you're ticking the right box. Hans is saying in the live chat there, you can't say no to having ads in YouTube. Unfortunately, you can't. I've got to well, I can turn monetization off if I like, but yeah, you don't really have much of an option on YouTube. But on other websites, guys, I would think it's the sensible option to further monetize your website by at least considering ads and playing around with it. Don't be like me or Ben previously thinking it looks spammy. Who cares? Make that money. But I want to ask, there'll be a lot of people here maybe thinking about affiliate marketing, thinking of, dipping their toe in the water. How realistic do you think it is to suggest that you can go from zero to making $1,000 a month, like in a 6-month period, for example? Is that achievable with the right time, effort, and stuff like that, or are we talking longer than 6 months?
I'm sure some people have done it. For a beginner, I think that's very unlikely. Just because there's going to be a big learning curve, and if you're talking about SEO, 6 months is just about the time Google says, "Hey, if makes it like starts ranking your website."
Yeah.
Naturally, of course. So for a beginner, like, they should not expect anything in the first 6 months. Um, I know it seems like a lot of work to put in a lot of this work and wait 6 months to figure out if it worked or not. Um, but that's kind of the nature of like business in general. Like any business, you're going to be putting in a lot of effort in the beginning,
Do,
and
do
if
you
it works
think
out, that's like really good.
Do you think that's maybe where people fail though, when it comes to affiliate marketing? That maybe they come into it and think that they're going to be making all this money in 2 or 3 months, and then they get fed up and then just fall away from it. Do you see that happening a lot? Maybe wild expectation, then they get fed up because you've done 2 or 3 months worth of hard graft and you've made nothing. Is that where people go wrong?
I am sure some people give up within that first 6 months because they don't see results. It is a grind. You have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to create good content. You got to keep learning SEO. So it's just the nature of niche websites. Nobody's successful online. Almost nobody is successful within their first 6 months online in any online business. Like a lot of successful people have been at it for years.
Big websites take time. That's the bottom line. But Hans has got a good question here in the live chat. Now, you obviously built up your own group and stuff like that. And do you think you could be an affiliate and just rely on the likes of a Facebook group or a Twitter following or whatever you might have and actually not have a website? Do you ever see affiliates who obviously have traffic coming from other sources? You ever seen anything like that? And do these guys do really well?
Yeah, I've seen a couple things. There was this one lady I saw. She had a Facebook group about like Amazon deals, and every day she would post like a cool Amazon deal that would be on sale or something. And she would make pretty good money. I think like hundreds per day with this Facebook group
Mhm.
for Amazon deals. I don't know if that's technically allowed by Amazon or not, but she was making money doing it. The other way is to become a product expert. So there's people who are really good at AI tools, like Jasper, for example. They create a Jasper group, and people join it, and in that group, they can promote the Jasper product with their affiliate link.
Yeah.
So I think there are people doing that. I mean, I don't know how much they're making, but I assume some of these people are making money doing that just with their Facebook group.
Especially if they're getting recurring monthly deals, like you suggested in your slides there. If you're getting a monthly recurring deal and you can hammer out, just Jasper content all the time and engage and all that stuff, then happy days. I would also agree that I've seen people who do nothing other than promote crap on TikTok alone and probably make a very good living. So, with all their kind of affiliate commissions or TikTok shop commissions or whatever the hell's going on over there just now. So I don't think you necessarily have to have a website to start, but I think none of us are always fortunate to just randomly have a following. But if you've got a following, I think, you see females on Instagram, or not just females, there'll be guys as well, but I've certainly seen a lot of females who promote a lot of makeup and hair extensions and all that stuff, and probably get paid an absolute fortune for it. So you can get good deals over there. But guys, we sadly are out of time. Ben, thank you very much for sharing your story and some of your tips with the audience. If someone wants to reach out and get in touch with you, whether it be for looking at Keyword Chef, I know that's keywordchef.com, but how's the best place to get a hold of you? If someone says, I like that guy, I need to pick his brain, where do they get you? What's the best platform or email or whatever it might be?
Yeah, the best way is you can find me on Facebook or just email me, ben@keywordchef.com. I read every single email that comes through. So if you have a question, I'll respond to you.
So it's not going to some VA.
No.
Yeah, where it gets missed. So ben@keywordchef.com is the best email for Ben. Get him on Facebook or just go to keywordchef.com and shout loud, and I'm sure he'll get back to you. But guys, thank you very much for your questions. Thank you for showing up. Thank you to Duda for allowing us the opportunity on here to talk about affiliate marketing. And any other questions, please leave them below in the comments. Myself or Ben or the team at Duda can come back and help answer those questions going forward if you're watching a replay of this video. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Ben, again. And we will catch you on the next episode, guys.